Can we regain our reality enough to make a difference? Impact is a big word. It starts really small. So what I'm trying to share with you today is you don't really have to be extraordinary in a position of power, in a position of extreme wealth or influence, or be a celebrity to make an impact. Impact can come from really, really small things. Now, everybody, each of us are unique in our own spheres of experiences in our own lives. We are all individuals, and each of us has the ability to make a difference. The point is to understand that we are all capable of doing big things in small ways. In really tiny ways, you can actually make a difference. What do we fear? What are we afraid of? We are really not afraid of our darkness because we know there's a certain amount of darkness that exists in each of us. We undermine our abilities because we are afraid. Are we really afraid of our darkness? Or are we afraid of being absolutely brilliant? We all have possibilities, we all have potentials as individuals. It's a simple thing. None of our thumbprints are the same. That's how unique you are. And because your thumbprints are different, you are different. So each of your impact on society will be different. We just have to awaken up to the fact that we don't have to be out of this world to make a difference. There's space for everyone. Space for everyone to make a difference, and it will start from within. At some point of time in your life, you will come to a turning point where it will all begin. And it happens for everyone. Every single one of you. The point is whether you allow that turning point to impact just your life, just what you want out of life, or the lives of around you, people around you. Now, what is my reason for being? What am I doing on earth? In my journey through life, I've had impact from a lot of people I've met, all the experiences I've been through, all the different lessons I've learned. And I've chanced upon two words that compose the philosophy of my own life now. I'm working towards it. One is, what is my reason for being a human being on earth? One is for the experience, of course. But beyond that, what? What is my purpose in life? So there is this philosophy, a Japanese word called ikigai. I don't know if most of you have heard it. But it talks about a work-life balance. Do what you're passionate about. Do what you love doing. But make it work, not just for yourself as a profession, but make it work for the greater good. So that is where ikigai, my reason for being on this planet. What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And the other word is a Greek word called meraki. Meraki is putting a bit of your soul into your work. It may be something very small that you do, but if your soul is in it, it will impact. It will make a bigger difference. You may not see it that way, but somebody's life that you affect, it has made a difference. So, these are the four things that I spoke about. That which you love, that which you need, that the world needs, and whether you can get paid for it. And in the center of it is your soul. And how much of that you're putting on to these things. That is the meraki. These are two different languages. Two words that have generated from different regions of the world. But when they merge together, there is a philosophy behind it that can change your life and the life of other people around you. Meet Pooja Anand. Now I'm going to be speaking about little stories which I've collected over the years. I've been speaking about myself a lot, my experiences. But these are people, we don't know Pooja Anand. Who's Pooja Anand? Now Pooja Anand was working in Singapore. She was working with HP as a learning creative head. I mean, she's a learning designer. very successful, very effective. She is an IIT student, an alumni of IIT. And this girl, I'm calling her a girl because she's still very, very young at heart. And she's a single parent. She became a single parent in year 2000 to a 7-year-old boy. And then she adopted a baby girl in 2007 from Himachal. And she went to Morocco for a holiday and had a near-death experience. And she came back to Singapore, and that's when she thought, what am I doing with my life? What is my purpose? It all seems very empty that I'm running after commercial stuff and I'm not giving back. What if I died yesterday? I would have not left anything behind. And that transformed her life. So in 2013, she moved to Himachal. And now she's teaching little kids in a village called Moli. It's near Dharamshala. And she teaches those kids. She's transforming the lives of those little children. Going to school and teaching them is just her excuse for being with them. And she's learned a lot. Kids get abused a lot in school as well. You know, pinching, being talked down by other teachers, made to feel small. These are little innocent children. And she goes there to ensure that they get educated in the right manner. So she teaches them spoken English. And this is Pooja with the children. And she teaches them anything that they want to learn on that day. Because learning processes are different. One is getting an education, the other is learning to impact things. So that is what. And the bottom two pictures are her daughter, the girl that she adopted. And there's another girl called Sonika. We call her Sonu. And these are the two lives she has impacted the most. Ordinary person, unknown, impacting lives. The second person, this is Liliana Ramirez. She lives in Texas. As a teenager, she was fighting being fat. So she had a major problem called bulimia. I don't know how many of you know that. That is, you binge eat and then you try to make up for it by purging yourself with a requirement, a need to be thin. I think this is a fighting battle for most of us. We binge eat, then we get guilty, and you want to purge yourself, and you want to turn yourself into somebody that is acceptable by society, which may be real, unreal. She was fighting it throughout her teenage years. And then, at 19, she was really in a bad shape when she met Edward. Edward is a poet laureate in Texas. She met him. She became a bride at the age of 21. By the time she was 26, she had a daughter. So she was the big fat mama in the kitchen. And she loves attention. And she was really a hefty person who wanted to be thin, who wanted attention. Most of us want attention. So she wanted attention, and that's where she did a photo shoot at the age of 30, when she turned 30. And what started as just a mere photo shoot, she got into plus-size modeling. Once she got into plus-size modeling, she changed the world around her, because it was not about a size 0 looking good in clothes. It was about an ordinary person looking good, no matter what your size. And then she got into a competition, and now she's Miss Rio Grande plus world. And she impacts the lives of others who feel small because they are either too fat, too thin, or want to look good. That's her. At the age of 21 as a bride, 30, and that was the first picture that she took when she turned 30 to do a photo shoot for herself. And that's her journey. My third person here is Rajiv Kalani. I'm not so sure how clear that picture is. This guy's forever on the Jeep, forever on the road, and he's passionate about it. What he's not passionate about is seeing chaos on the road. So what happened? He became a civilian traffic manager. So he handles traffic snarls. All of those who've been to Delhi ever know how bad it gets at the horse cars junction. and the IIT Junction, it's crazy in the evenings. So what he would do, for 90 minutes every day for 18 months, he would spend time there helping out the traffic cops to clear the traffic. And while he was doing that, he would educate the people on how they should be driving, sticking to lanes, because it helps save time. After 18 months, he stopped doing that. Now he's a traffic cop anywhere. Wherever there's a traffic snarl, he just pulls over and he takes charge. Nobody tells him to do anything. He does it himself. It's his passion. He's just putting it to use to make an impact on the lives of people every day. So that's my third person, and this is what a traffic snarl can look like in Delhi. And this is really cool. It's not very, very crowded right now, this picture. My next person is Ved Amrita. Ved Amrita is a girl who was learning to become a doctor. She's a science graduate. And she wanted to... This is a girl who started impacting lives when she was this small. Daughter of an army officer. She'd go to school, take her lunch back. She saw somebody who was hungry, somebody who didn't eat. All her lunch, the entire time in school, she shared with someone. She never ate lunch, and she never told her family she didn't eat lunch. So her lunch went to someone. What she does now is, wherever she goes, she keeps doing these little things for people. Her current beat is Khan Market, where she sees people in need, and she does try to make a difference on a daily basis. She runs a small organization called Ved Creations, where people ordinary people who want to wear designer clothes, but want their own designers converted into clothes. So it doesn't matter what size you are. You're bringing the design to her, she helps translate that to the tailor who creates it and gives it back to people. Small things, but it impacts the lives of ordinary people either on the street or otherwise. She's also fighting the case right now and taken up the case for the little child whose parents were not able to pay fees and got chucked out and was said that he cannot sit for CBSE exams. She's the one doing that work right now. Not her job, but she's doing it. So this is Ved. Kindness is a way of life for her. She makes a difference every single day. She's not overtly rich, but she does it anyway. My next person is Sanjog Naik. Sanjog Naik is, he's passionate about bikes, he's passionate about riding out. The guys who have bikes, they know what it's like to have a passion. That's your first girlfriend, everything else is a second girlfriend. That's how it works. And only those who ride bikes understand that. So he started off as a solo rider in 1994. I know this guy personally, he's worked with me in one of the firms that I worked with. And I was quite impressed, taken up with the fact that he's so passionate about it. He started off as a solo rider. Eventually, he had a group of 35 people who wanted to ride with him. They just wanted to be out there because they were passionate about riding. But these were people who were overweight, people who had low self-esteem, people who were not doing too well off in life, people who were struggling with something or the other. But every weekend, they all get together, they go out on a ride. And that's how he started impacting their lives. They have better self-esteem. He started finally a club called Bull Riders, which is by the riders for the riders. So anywhere in India, if you're a rider on a bike and you associate yourself with this club, they give out any kind of support required. Doesn't matter where in India they are, they'll make it happen. That's how he's impacting lives for people on bikes. It's passion, but it's converted into making a difference. That's him. His wife rides. His 18-year-old daughter sneaks off on his bullet whenever she can. So he's a bit scared about that, but that's how you impact lives. The last part of my story is Donate an Hour. This is an organization. It's a very small organization in Gurgaon where people can donate an hour of their time to make a difference. This is what they do. And I became a part of that for a couple of months because I was in Gurgaon. And I realized weekends I can take an hour off, 2 hours off, and sit and work with these kids. Teach them, help them do their homeworks. Because these are kids who have parents who are not educated. They can't help them with their homeworks. They can't help them succeed. So we had a bunch of kids who would come into any small hall which was donated by anybody for that particular number of hours, and they would make a difference. So that's me with my bunch of kids. When I was doing it until I had to stop because of my back problem. I had a surgery thereafter, and I kind of had to give this up. But it was the most fulfilling time of my life because you were making a difference on a daily basis. Now, what does being a true professional mean? How would you do that? How are you going to, as professionals, impact lives? Do something outside of yourself, then you become a true professional. You need to be able to do that. If it's not just for you, then it works. You have to repair the tears in the community. There's so much of a gap. What is between real and unreal? That needs merging. That needs to be cemented. You have to make life better for somebody unfortunate. Otherwise, it'll become empty. At some point in your life, you will think it's empty because you've not made an impact. So, the next one is for all people who are going to be seeking jobs. At work, what can you do? I've been in HR. I've done different divisions, but this is very, very important. Change your business behavior. Why would you want to do something only for profit? When did it become about profit? If we don't add that chemical, we lose money, things are becoming more expensive, and we won't make profit. But what are you killing? You're killing the planet by simple things. We won't spend too much on minimum wages. We only want to pay minimum wages, which impacts the lives of others, kills their health. But these are the people who are making you work, who are making the company work. Why can't you look after them? Small things. You're going to be making a difference because those people will never leave. And business does not have to be destructive to survive. And most of the CEOs in board meetings say, okay, can you tell me how much profit you can make? When is that question going to change into, can you tell me how many lives it's going to impact positively? Is that ever going to happen? So instead of taking selfies, turning your face into filters, tweaking your nose, buying stuff that looks good out of the supermarkets because it looks good, but it's chemically covered. That's unreal. If something is looking shabby, why aren't you buying it? Because that's organic. And you would be impacting the economic life of others. So there is something for each of you to do. You don't have to be overtly, extraordinarily rich, powerful, like I said. You simply have to understand your own brilliance at work. Wherever you are, whatever you're passionate about, just do it. And that is basically, don't undermine the impact that you can have on somebody's life. You can change everybody's life if you wish to. Start with yourself and get on with the rest. Thank you.